iPad Air 2 and iPad Mini 3 expected fourth quarter 2014. The Apple iPad Air 2 and iPad Mini 3 are the latest iterations of Apple's popular tablet lineup, coming almost exactly 1 year after the previous versions. Neither device is particularly groundbreaking, but Apple have made them both better in different ways. Apple iPad Air 2. The Apple iPad Air 2 is almost impossibly thin, coming in at just 6.1mm thick, 1.4mm thinner than the original iPad Air, and it's over 30 grams lighter too, coming in at 437 grams for the Wi-Fi version or 440 grams for the Wi-Fi and LTE variant. The screen size and resolution and the footprint of the iPad Air 2 is identical to the original Air, with a 9.7-inch 2048 by 1536 panel, although it's now fully laminated and has an anti-reflective coating. The camera on the back has been upgraded from 5 megapixels to 8 megapixels, and it now has a burst mode. The Air 2 retains the 1.2 megapixel camera on the front. Underneath, the new A8X CPU and M8 motion coprocessor are set by Apple to be 40% faster than the original iPad Air. The iPad Air 2 also supports Apple's new Touch ID fingerprint sensing payment system. But if you want a really stark comparison, you should go back 2 years to the Apple iPad 4, and in comparison to that, the iPad Air 2 is only 2/3 of the weight and thickness, but is a lot faster. If your iPad is 2 years old or more, then it is probably about time to consider upgrading. Available colours will be silver, gold and space grey, with 16GB, 64GB or 128GB of storage. The iPad Air maxed out at only 32GB. As previously mentioned, there is a Wi-Fi only version or one with cellular connectivity too, and US prices will range from between $499 to $829. Pre-orders start on October 17th, with shipments starting next week in most major markets worldwide. Apple iPad Mini 3. There's not a world of difference between the iPad Mini 3 and last year's iPad Mini 2, except the Mini 3 now supports Touch ID and comes with much more internal storage, with 16GB, 64GB and 128GB versions as the Air 2 does. There's still a 7.9-inch 2048 by 1536 pixel display, 5 megapixel primary camera plus a 1.2 megapixel front-facing one. Available colours will also be silver, space grey and gold, with Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi plus cellular versions. US prices range from $399 to $729. The iPad Mini 3 will ship at pretty much the same time and in similar markets to the iPad Air 2. As with the iPad Air 2, the comparison is much more stark when you look at the 2-year-old original iPad Mini, which is much less capable than either the iPad Mini 2 or Mini 3, both of which will remain on sale together. Both these new iPads come with iOS 8.1, an update to the troubled iOS 8 operating system that was only announced a month ago with the iPhone 6. Overall, these two devices do not offer anything radically new, and we're not sure how many people will want to use Touch ID while out shopping, but the increased internal storage in both models does look appealing, and the prospect of an even faster iPad Air should satisfy